The winner of the series will be moving on to face Speechless in the semifinals, and the loser will drop down to face Troll Jargon. All right.
Sounds like you even got a hiccup, a little bit of shock.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm perspirating right now. That was really scary.
Perspirating sphincters, like what other words are we gonna come up with?
No,
Moist.
that was pretty scary.
I'm moist after that game.
They found, and not only were they finding opportunities to kill Blizzo, they're also finding opportunities just to kill. They find opportunities to kill and force the cooldowns everywhere, and it's just like that versatility of that just keep me. I was truly believing. I mean, they still probably could. I was truly believing that they were gonna win 3 games in a row. For some reason, it was just in my head, and it was snaking me out. But we're gonna be moving on here as the Yacht Boys take on No Ladder Players. No Ladder Players winning or beating their mirror rivals are moving forward here in the tournament, and they're going to be facing the Yacht Boys, consisting of Thisa, Froth, Miley, and Gelu Baba. Did I do it right? Is that how you say it?
Baba will win.
Baba will win.
No, the original
players.
Baba.
They did just win 3 games in a row against their rivals, like coming back from a huge deficit. I mean, that momentum is not something to just brush away. But what compositions do they have really available to them to deal with the Yacht Boys?
I mean, like I said, they seem quite confident in their DK Windwalker, and I would imagine that DK Windwalker would struggle a lot with Shadowplay. It's a matchup that's been played extensively. Both comps are very popular on the ladder. So if this DK Windwalker does feel so confident, maybe there's something behind it. Maybe, as we've seen, they do have slightly different strategies to the other DK Windwalkers, perhaps. So perhaps they have figured something out that we haven't seen yet. But I think this should be an uphill battle for them. The Yacht Boys, of course, do have multiple comps available to them. We haven't seen their RMD yet, but they are one of the highest RMDs on the ladder. Very formidable team. So they have a few options available to them. I think we're probably going to see the Shadowplay to start out, but should be an interesting series to finish off the day.
Yeah, and that being said, yeah, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna get a Windwalker DK for a blind pick, or are we gonna get the Feral Druid for the blind pick? I mean, we saw this, right, Supa?
Do they?
Cavi, I believe.
They could go for the Feral DK for sure. That comp's definitely got a decent win rate against Shadow, but again, it depends how confident they are in this DK Windwalker setup of theirs.
I mean, we saw in NA that the Feral Druid DK, had a little bit better of a time facing the Shadowplay. So if they're anticipating the Shadow Priest, Frostmage, Holy Pally, they might the mind games, man. The mind games of the blind pick on the Grand Arena is pretty big. We're gonna see what these guys are gonna be locking in with the admin very soon as the queue are being sent out. And the first game of this best of 5 series, of course, is the Grand Arena. I'll see you all in a hot minute. Alright, here we go. They're going to be sticking with the Windwalker. They're sticking with the Windwalker DK composition. Their bread and butter, per se, going up against the Yacht Boys.
I think it's smart with your strongest comp. Even if you think the other one might... it's maybe a slight more advantage with the Feral Druid. Not so much that you would play something you're less practiced with, I don't think.
Something that's quite interesting is this Shadowplay isn't the same one we saw. They're actually using the other mage against this comp. They have Galubaba rather than Thessia. So we see Galubaba's first games in this tournament. Maybe they feel like he's better against this comp. We're suddenly going to get the start going quite fast. The Trinket comes out from Galubaba on the end cap. He wants to get going now. The Deep Sheet comes out instantly. The Sands onto Cervantes. Looks like they're starting it on him. The Trinket AMS has to come out and see he's 50%. Linway is sitting into the sheeps. He's probably going to get feared off that. But they're trying to steal the fear. The stair come. He actually stole the fear, pretty sure, Cervantes. Well played by him, but he might just die. He needs to Trinket that. The Trinket wings comes out and the fear is stolen into Miley. Can they follow that up? They need to get some pressure onto Frosty. They forced a fair few cooldowns, but No significant break share. The execute might tick. He's down to 50%. Cervantes looks like he's stable for now, but we do see the deep come out, and Gelu Baba actually gets gripped on his sheep there, so they're not going to get CC. He does get the sacrifice, but it gets purged. That's so unfortunate for Linue, and that means that might be the bubble coming out already. The DR sheep, can they get a fair to follow up these sheep? It looks like they can. There's the bubble. They need to kick the master spell, but the master spell comes in. They're under so much pressure, the other players. I think their cooldowns are really running low already.
That was interesting talent choice from Cervantes. He's actually playing Gorfine's Grasp, so he can grip everyone on the team into the Fist of Fury, which we saw for a second there. I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to set something up like that moving forward. It'd be really cool to see. We see a lot of damage, though, leading forward onto Cervantes. Looks like they're setting up to kill Frosties, though. We see the Blessing of Protection. Doesn't matter. He probably needs to disperse as well. They're just cutting right through it at 14% HP remaining. Miley's desperately just casting heals over and over to top him off. Both players in a lot of trouble here. Miley moving forward. Cervantes line of sighting, healing off the water elemental. Really well done. He'll top himself back off here. Foxley getting swapped to in the center of the map. Just going to trade that diffuse magic right away. He doesn't want to give up any more momentum that he could build here onto Frosty. We see a grip over onto Miley into that paralyzed. Do they have the Fist of Justice to chain out of it? Looks like they do. What else can they chain out of? Do they have a Strangulate? It looks like they do. They might be able to make something happen here, but Frosty's just kiting very well. They're unable to connect, and now maybe that preemptive diffuse magic could backfire onto Foxy. He's down to 29%, trying to get out of line of sight, but all these icicles are just pew-pewing right after him. He's trying to heal with some Surging Mist, but Gelu blinks in and finishes the job completely by himself in style, blinking in, locking him on his heel, and finishing him off. Really well played. The Yacht boys are going to take game number 1.
Yeah, that was some real commitment from Gelu Baba there, blinking, CSing him so he couldn't use the touch of Karma there. He had it available pretty sure, but he just couldn't get it off because of he was locked by Gelu. Well played by him, and they will take that first game 1-2.
I want to take a quick look at that replay and just see that blink play coming in once again, because that is an awesome play from Gelu Baba to land that kill there. And, you know, being in that Windwalker's position, surely he's like, oh no, they're not going to overextend. I'm way too far. And surely he's there. He's in it to win it. And down he goes. Yacht Boys taking a quick lead 1-0 against the ladder players. And I have to say, that looks like not only a strong, you know, ending to that series, but throughout the whole game, I really felt like the defensive cooldowns usage and from the Yacht Boys seemed quite strong against this Windwalker DK. I mean, there was a moment there where Frosty's, the Shadow Priest, was getting super low, almost in touch of death range, but they caught the Save by the Light and he had the bop, and even though he was taking magic damage through the bop, he sat with it and didn't even use more defensive cooldowns on top of that. And I think it's that communication between your team that really prevents those overlaps. But here we go. We're going to be jumping into game number 2 on Dollar Inn Sewers. So this was chosen by the Windwalker DK. No ladder players. Do you think that this map is going to give a big enough advantage to a Windwalker DK composition to take out this this Shadow play, or the Shadow Priest Frostmage Holy Pally composition?
I like the strategy from the Windwalker DK, trying to set up CC chains on Miley, looking for kills on Frosty. I really like that AoE grip that Cervantes is running in. Maybe if they could set that up a little more cleaner, it can be a lot easier on a smaller map to clump them up and kind of just rot them all down. It was a really interesting play style. We usually see Windwalker DKs just go after the Paladin and really nothing else matters. Seems to be their only way to win. So let's see if no ladder plays can clean it up a little bit here. Maybe Fopsy isn't going to trade that diffuse magic to stay offensive. He'll save it till he's a little bit lower, maybe bait some more damage on himself. But I really want to see if they can play this CC matchup better, or maybe the map pick means they're going to change their strategy. Maybe they are going to go after Miley on the smaller map.
I certainly think they could do. Maybe they are thinking about that because they weren't that close cooldowns-wise to killing Frosty last game, but they did get him quite low. And they looks like they're opening up onto Frosty again. The Hodge comes out instantly. Instant trinket from Frosty, trying to kite away. They do force the AMS from Cervantes instantly. He could be in a lot of trouble here. They're probably going to force a cooldown from Linue, who is in that DR sheep. I don't think they're in position to get the fear off. He's going to get one more sheep, but did he have to trinket there? He actually had to trinket the triple DR sheep. That's so unfortunate for them. And the Strangulate we see now onto Miley. They're trying to turn the pressure. It looks like Cervantes is actually on Miley right now. Miley down to 40%. The shield does progress. It looks like he's going to be okay with that Wings execution centers. And now it's Cervantes who's under pressure. There is no AMS available for 15 seconds. He's down to 30%, 40%. Linue gets put into the deep freeze. The sheep should follow that. That should be bubble from Linue. He's trying to hold on to it a little bit. Cervantes looks like he's trying to kite away. The AMS does come up, but it gets chunked through instantly, down to 40%. again. The DR Sheep, can they get a Fear off that? It looks like they might be able to. The Frostro comes out first. The Aura Master User, the Fear comes out slightly late. The Sacrifice might break it, but it gets purged off really fast. The Yacht Boys completely on top of that, and we do see another Sacrifice comes out on that DR Silence. The shield procs again. Cervantes is in so much trouble. If they can just get one more CC on Linway, it's going to be the bubble.
Yeah, a lot of damage following it up on a Cervantes. Gelubaba blinking in to finish the job once again. Will he be able to do it? Will the bubble even matter? Lanu is just spamming out as much healing as he can, but he just doesn't have enough.
Wow,
and he just the bubble and locked him out to get the kill. Really well done from the Yacht Boys. These guys are stylish. I feel like that they are advantaged in the matchup specifically, but they're really not making any mistakes for no ladder players to capitalize on.
This game was really, really dominant, and I mean, sure, it was a little unfortunate that Linway had to trinket that early setup, because when they stopped the Fear, it looked like maybe he was going to hold on to it, but Cervantes just dropped so low. I think he had to make that call, and even if he hadn't trinketed there, I feel like they weren't close to winning this game. Again, disperse, not forced bubble, not forced trinket, not forced. I mean, they have to figure something out, because at the minute, the Yacht Boys are just going to take it 3-0.
Dude, those Hand of Sacrifices, it was like a magic trick. It was like, now you see it, and now it never actually went on a player ever. That was pretty
Lunar is getting some really nice sacrifices out, but his comp doesn't really have the buffs to protect it. So with the 2 purges on the other team, it's just, they're always just gone instantly. The Yacht Boys are really on top of that. They're so ready for it. I wonder if they're just cooling the sheeps and they're like, okay, I'm sheeping, and they just start pre-purging or something like that. They're so fast with it. It's never there for a second.
Yeah, it's instantly on every time. So good on them, man. Being able to have that presence of mind to get that off, even if that means they're just calling out that they're sheeping and getting that preemptive purging going on. That's still in itself synergy, and it's paying off for them. I mean, so far we're 2 games into the series, and it is looking like a very dominant game in favor of this team, the Yacht Boys. This kind of reminds me of NA a little bit, Supa. I mean, like, we saw these Windwalker DK composition teams, they just did not have an answer to these hard counters, and it looks like no ladder players, they're running into the same issue, not being able to adapt the situation. I mean, they are adapting.
I feel like they're spreading out too much. Like, at one point, Cervantes was on one box, Lanu was on the other box. Like, how did that happen? I think they need to stay together more.
They're trying to get Prophecy to, like, he's trying to grip Prophecy away to stop the Fears, and they are kind of delaying the Fears a little bit, but it's not to much end. They're not getting close to the kill regardless, and I feel like if Cavi is available, if the Feral Drill is available, they need to swap it up, because the Feral DK should have an okay chance at killing the Holy Paladin, probably a better chance than the DK Windwalker, and they don't even think going Holy Paladin's the right strategy. They're trying to channel down the Shadow Priest, and they're just not living close to long enough to get the kill. Like, they have to go through a lot more cooldowns before they're going to land this kill, and that means surviving a lot longer. The Yacht Boys just looking so dominant, and they're actually locking in the Windwalker DK again, so we have to see if they can pull something else out. They do have other strategy options. They could go Holy Paladin, they could even try going Mage and shutting down so that there's incredible amount of sheeps coming out from Gelubaba, but at the minute Gelubaba is just free to do whatever he wants, and whatever he wants seems to be winning them the game, so.
Yeah, indeed. Well, here we go. It's Blades Edge Arena, so Z-Axis might be able to give Flopsy a little bit more survivability, but I don't know. At this point, I just had all my money on the Yacht Boys. They are looking super strong so far, but we've seen bigger upsets for sure. No ladder players, though, are down 0-2. This is going to be a hard matchup, and hopefully they got their heads screwed on straight, because Flopsy is still running that fabulous transmog, so they have that going for them.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time these guys have been 0-2 down. They've certainly been in this situation before and won the series, and they're opening up onto Flopsy. They should get a kick on Shadow. That should slow down the Shadow play a little bit. A nice pre-sacrifice from Miley means that Flopsy should be okay here. He's actually considering setting the strength. Nope, he does, and unfortunately the Paralyze does go into the sacrifice, so it breaks instantly on Miley. It means that Flopsy should be okay. Not even a wings forced out. They're swapping onto Miley. That will be the wings, but this is a much better opener for the DK Windwalker, who look like they might even be able to hold on to Trinket. Linway, yeah, he does have to Trinket the Fear, but this is still a pretty okay opener for them. Cervantes is pretty topped up, and they can go offensive right now.
Yeah, Linue is just standing on top of Miley, looking for that Fist of Justice to paralyze onto Gello. Good cross CC from no ladder players, trying to shut down some Icicle generation as they're pushing over onto Frosty. Miley still has those wings up for a couple seconds, needs to make sure he squeezes as much healing out as possible here. Linue with a nice preemptive sacrifice, but that gets purged off immediately. Still a lot of damage onto Frosty, forced to bop him and disperse at the same time. They strip off the bop. How much more CC can they keep going? Miley really doesn't have a lot of big cooldowns to heal through this. He gets locked on his heal. How much more time does he have? Frosty goes for a panic mode. He's down at 10, down at 20%. D-Hard Hodge could finish the game.
He goes down.
And no ladder players, they're coming back. They just like the challenge.
Wow. That was, they used so many cooldowns there. I can't believe they died. They used the bop, they used the disperse. He came out, he wanted to get the counter gun to Savants, but there's just so much damage coming through. Miley couldn't deal with it. That was so much damage from the ladder players. Maybe they're just trying to play with our heart a little bit, you know.
They're playing with my
go
emotions.
2-0 down and they just... It's a good thing you didn't put Ghost Peppers on this series.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that being said, I really like Blades Edge Arena for the Windwalker DK. I just feel like if they wanted to play on the bridge, there's nowhere Frosty can go to really make it feel like no ladder players is overextending. But I don't know. The next map is going to be the Yacht Boys' choice because of the loss on Blades Edge Arena. And so far, there's only been 3 maps that have played in a Grand, Blades Edge, and I believe, what was the one? Dalaran Sewers. So, that being said, the Yacht Boys, where are we going? Tolvaron?
Yeah, I think they might just want a big map, just so there's no way they die like that. They can just kite with the feathers, the freedoms. Like, the longer game's suddenly going to favor them. If they just keep their cooldowns available and just draw it out so that Frosty's not just taking unhealable damage like that outside of the wings, I'm sure they're going to win the game at some point.
I totally missed a pretty big deal. We actually got a $100 donation to that final prize pool by, I'm gonna try my hardest on this one. Hi Seagens. Here, I'm gonna paste it to you guys. Give me a hand with this one. I can't
see it.
Here, hold on. HET. There you go. But they said, here's some money up for grabs for the boys. Thank you so much for that donation. That is a huge deal. But I'll shout out the rest of you guys here in a hot minute. But first, we have Tolvaron Arena. Alright, here we go. No ladder players versus the Yacht Boys. I'm actually in disbelief after seeing Game 1 and Game 2 and going into a Game 4. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Santa Claus is confirmed real. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't feel like they should be able to come out like that, but they certainly did it, and we felt the same last series probably, so... we'll see if they have any more magic in their hats. Cervantes is going to be looking to run at Frosty again. They just want to open up on him, but he's on his mount. It's quite a big map. They have to cross through Gelubaba to get him as well. And Gelubaba is quite a forceful warden, I feel like. The Nova and the damage he can put out. He doesn't want to go too far away from Linui, like Super Tears was saying in one of the previous games. But they do connect to Frosty now. They get a clear connection onto him. He's trying to cut away as much as he can, this big map, using it to its most advantage, and they're trying to open up on Cervantes. A nice sacrifice comes out from Linui, but it does get purged off instantly again, as we've expected from the Yacht Boys every single time. Will they get the reshapes? It looks like he's in position to fear as well. Surely that's going to be the trinket from Linui, but we also see a lot of cooldowns coming from Cervantes. The Lich Bond, he's trying to out-heal it, but the trinket does come out regardless. Now we look at Frosty. Frosty is on low HP, he's down to 70%. They actually get the MD thanks to that Aura Mastery from Miley. Really good coordination by the Yacht Boys to hold the trinket from Miley there, but he's still dying through it. The Wings execution sentence should stabilize him for now. Now it's the Yacht Boys' turn. They get the Deep Freeze, they get the Sheep. Again, Linue pre-sacrificing, but it does get purged. Cervantes is in a lot of trouble right now, down to 60%. They're trying to counter pressure with the incap on Miley, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be achieved by it. The full fair comes out onto Linue. The Wings have expired. He's going to have such a hard time going through the CS of Gelubaba and healing up Cervantes. I think it's going to be really, really rough for him right now.
Yeah, the preemptive blessing and protection from Miley. They know that they can take this game pretty easily at this point. There's the full sheep over onto Luinaway. We can see Fopsy getting caught into that Horrify with no diffuse magic, and they could just bop or block the touch of Karma. There's so much damage following it up. He's trying to stay alive with that fortifying brew. Saved by the light shield is going to proc. Luinaway was forced to bubble. A lot of cooldowns used by no ladder players. They're really running out of time and running out of steam. They need to get Frosties dispersed with the rest of this Pillar of Frost, but they're not getting it. Miley just spam healing through it. Nice grip into the double leg sweep. Maybe they can force it. They force the dispersion. This is the miracle play. One more setup. Maybe they can just keep continuing the momentum through this, but Fopsy could be in trouble. Double fist of Fury Stun comes out. Offensive touch of Karma gets popped off instantly, and now Fopsy is caught into that full fist of justice and will surely go down. They just need a little bit more damage to finish off Fopsy. Down at 20, down at 9, he's going to fall. And the Yacht Boys turn it around despite no ladder players' momentum towards the end. The Yacht Boys keep it clean, keep it calm, and collected, and take the series 3-1.
I have to say, man, I have my foot in my mouth after that. Like, there were some crazy setups coming out from no ladder players, and they're finding some opportunities there to really get ahead. But the Yacht Boys, they're going to come out a victor regardless. Taking a quick look at that replay to see how exactly Flopsy went down.
I just feel like the Yacht Boys, I mean, no ladder players, just have to reach that point in the game where they have their offensive cooldowns back up, and Miley doesn't have his wings because he just can't deal with it. Like, you see how close he is to dying through Disperse. They had the bubble there, but like so many cooldowns used and they still almost die. But no ladder players, like they struggle to reach that point without being in so much trouble themselves. If they could just play offensive there, I'm sure they could have won the game. But well played by the Yacht Boys. They don't let this team survive for even 2 seconds. They're just all over them offensively.
All right. Well, there we have it, guys. That is going to conclude day 1 of the GCD Pro League, tournament number 1. I should say the Europe Pro League for tournament